A cordial greeting. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2024. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In this video, I would like to update the forecast related to the development of a Central American gyre, which could generate the formation of two tropical cyclones, one in the waters of the western Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, and the other in the eastern Pacific region. Since yesterday, the National Hurricane Center has maintained a 40% chance of the development of a tropical depression in the western Caribbean Sea, or in the waters of the southern Gulf of Mexico. This video is of particular interest to Central America, southern Mexico, Cuba, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Texas, as all residents in these areas should closely monitor the evolution of the Central American gyre and pay close attention to the National Hurricane Center's outlook regarding potential cyclonic development. If we zoom in on the infrared satellite animation of the Central America region, we can see how the coverage area of thunderstorms and rainfall has been increasing today. And by the weekend, a large circulation over Central America, known as the Central American gyre, is expected to develop. This event will cause heavy rains across Central America and also in some areas of southern Mexico. According to the latest projections, during the next 5 days, the western coast of Central America, including southern Guatemala, El Salvador, southern Honduras, western Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama, will receive between 150 and 300 millimeters of accumulated rainfall, which may cause some flooding in these countries. I encourage you to stay tuned to weather updates. As the Central American gyre develops, the probabilities of development in either the Caribbean Sea or just west of Central America will increase. Now, let's take a look at the latest projections from the global models. First, note that the American model, between Sunday and Monday, has the Central American gyre positioned over Central America, and eventually, between Wednesday and Thursday, it develops two low-pressure areas, one in the Caribbean region and the other just south of the state of Chiapas in Mexico. This is a possible scenario where the Central American gyre could lead to the formation of two tropical cyclones, something that has happened many times before. This event could cause heavy rains across Central America, the Yucatan Peninsula, and southern Mexico. By Wednesday night, the GFS model projects that a low-pressure system may move over Guatemala or Chiapas, while also developing a tropical depression or tropical storm near the Yucatan Peninsula, with a trajectory toward the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, where conditions may be favorable for strengthening. In the long term, models suggest that any tropical cyclone that forms in this area could move north-northeast and potentially threaten the southern and southeastern United States. We also have the European model projection, which generally agrees with the formation of a Central American gyre and two low-pressure areas in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific. However, this model, for now, does not see significant development over the next 5 to 7 days, at least in the Caribbean Sea and Gulf of Mexico. But note that it does predict the formation of a tropical cyclone off the west and south coasts of Mexico. This is another scenario. Nevertheless, the rainfall projections for Central America are the same in both the European and GFS models. In the long term, over the next 7 to 10 days, the European model shows a low-pressure system with a fairly wide circulation over the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. But at least in the latest run, it does not predict significant strengthening. This lack of consensus between the American and European models indicates that there is still a lot of uncertainty in the forecast regarding the possible development of one or two tropical cyclones. Other models, like the German model, also predict the development of a wide circulation, possibly a tropical depression, crossing over the Yucatan Peninsula by mid-next week, and they also see the development of another tropical cyclone in the eastern Pacific waters. The UK model shows the development of a tropical storm near western Cuba and just east of the Yucatan Peninsula, heading toward the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. This great uncertainty in the trajectory and location of the possible development of a tropical cyclone is clearly seen in the ensemble members of the American model. Some members develop a tropical depression to the south of Cuba, with a trajectory to the northeast and eventually reaching the state of Florida, while others show a trajectory over the Yucatan Peninsula and into the central and southern waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Also, many members develop a tropical depression or tropical storm south of Chiapas and Oaxaca, and southwest of Guatemala. So, here at Hurricane Info, we will also be keeping an eye on the situation in the eastern Pacific in case a tropical cyclone forms that could threaten areas in the western part of Central America or southern and western Mexico. The ensemble members of the European model also show a lot of uncertainty regarding where a tropical cyclone could develop, whether in the waters of the Caribbean Sea or the Gulf of Mexico, and they also see the potential for cyclonic development just to the west and south of Mexico. Remember, this is a long-term forecast. What we know at the moment is that starting this weekend, a significant rainfall event is expected for Central America. We will continue monitoring the model projections to try to determine where a tropical cyclone might form. whether in the Western Caribbean Sea or the Gulf of Mexico, and also in the Eastern Pacific waters. Over the next few days, I will be recording videos to keep you informed about this forecast. I invite you to subscribe to my channel by going down to the bottom of the video, clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and then clicking on the bell so that you receive notifications when I record new videos. Well, with that, I say goodbye. The next video will be recorded tomorrow, Saturday. See you later.